If you are a dreamer, come in. If you are a dreamer, a wisher, a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer. If you're a pretender, come sit by my fire, for we have some flax golden tales to spin. Come in, come in. Hi everybody, and welcome to English 225, Introduction to Children's Literature. That was, of course, a poem by the inimitable Shel Silverstein, and I just want to use that to welcome you to this spring semester. My name is Emily Lohorn Carpenter, and I'll be your professor for this class. Whether you are a longtime student of literature or just getting started, I want to assure you that you are in the right place to explore the fascinating history of this genre. We're here to read and discuss literature and learn a little bit more about the historic and the cultural context that inform and inspire these works of art. What I'd like to do today is welcome you to the class, give you some of that need-to-know info that you'll want to get started on your journey, as well as show you around a course tour of our online Canvas classroom. So let's get started. First things first, we are fully online, also known as asynchronous, this semester, which means that we'll be doing all of our interacting, as well as I'll be posting the course materials, and you can submit your assignments through Canvas. But don't worry, there's still lots of opportunity for human contact, and we're going to talk about that a little bit as we go through the course tour here. Let's begin by taking a quick look around our Canvas classroom. I'm here on the home page in Student View, and really the front door, kind of as it were, of our classroom is this link right here that says Welcome Week. Click here. This is where you're going to want to enter each week to find the weekly module. I'm going to go ahead and click here and take you through. I update this every week to take you straight to our weekly module, and the module has it all. It'll have links to your required readings aside from textbook chapters, any lectures and course materials posted by me, as well as the places where you can submit all of your required weekly assignments. We're going to take a sample walk through the module for week 1 here in just a second, but first I want to highlight a few of the course resources that are going to be most useful for you throughout this semester. So I'm going to start here actually, syllabus and course resources. You'll notice on this page you can tab through to see the syllabus, the course calendar, as well as a sample of our first assignment type, the quote response journal. We're going to take a quick look at what's going on this week with the course calendar. So let's see. You'll notice first up that the course calendar is arranged first by week. The first thing you'll see is a listing of any assigned readings that you have. We have 1 reading for this first week, which is posted for you already on Canvas in our module. It's called To Instruct and Delight, A History of Children's Literature. So that's an essay that I've posted up that you guys can download for free from Canvas. We'll have our first chapters from the textbook required next week, and we'll talk a little bit more later about where you can get that. If you're moving to the right, then you'll see some of the assignments that we have due for this week. Most of the time, your assignments are going to be due by Friday night at the end of the week. You'll see that there's a couple of midweek assignments through this unit. There's a short one here this week called 3 Things You Should Know About Me. But our big work is that we've got our first discussion board post and a quotation response journal based on the reading due at the end of this week. I've headed back to the module. You can find further instructions and details about all of these assignments, not only on their individual pages in the weekly module, but as well you can find some more instructions in the course syllabus as you go through and read some of these sections for the class. I'm sure you'll want to walk through the pages of our weekly module on your own individually, but let's take a quick look here. We've got a little informal getting to know you assignment for you guys midweek here called 3 Things You Should Know About Me. We've got our first discussion board post assignment, which is an icebreaker discussion, just something nice and light to kind of get the ball rolling, as well as a quotation response journal to go along with our very first reading assignment to instruct and delight. So this is a pretty good representative example of your kind of standard weekly workload in this class. You'll find in the Canvas that we've got some required readings, usually a pair of a chapter from your textbook, as well as some literary selections, the literature itself, starting next week. And usually our weekly assignments will include some discussion board postings, a journal, and sometimes a little bit of extra what I call short writing, which is some of those kind of informal assignments to get the ball rolling. Beyond that, throughout the semester, we've got 2 papers and 3 short essay exams kind of spaced out by unit, and you can learn a lot more about that in the course syllabus as well as the modules to come. As I mentioned, we do have a required textbook for this class. It's called Children's Literature, A Reader's History from Aesop to Harry Potter by Seth Lair. This is a great book. And as I mentioned, our first reading assignments related to this will be due at the end of week 2. So you've got some time to acquire the book. You can find it through the Southwestern Bookstore, where they've got, you can do your orders online and pick up on campus. Or if you find a better price on a used copy through Amazon or any of your other online booksellers, go ahead and work with that. You'll want to probably acquire your copy pretty soon though, so you can start using it next week. So let's talk a little bit more about what you can expect over the course of this semester. We are going to be moving chronologically through the genre of children's literature so that we can kind of pair side by side samples of the literature itself with some of that historic and social context that helps to kind of inform the bigger picture behind what we're reading. If you take a look at our course calendar for the first unit, you'll notice that we're starting out next week with Aesop's Fables, then moving on to Puritan literature, all the way up through the influence of 16th century philosopher John Locke. So we start out in antiquity, or that period of the ancient Greeks and Romans. Later on in the semester, we'll be looking at the Victorian age, moving all the way up to the modern authors that you know and love. My hope is to introduce you to some new literature selections, as well as some of the classics that you all came here for, what you know and love. We're going to be reading fables, short stories, fairy tales, picture books, and poetry. And yes, we will be returning to some of the fabulous works of Shel Silverstein that I started out this video with. All of this is meant to help you unlock the larger story behind the genre of children's literature. I can't wait. Let's get started.